Guys, just wanted to talk to you about alcohol. This should be a fun one because I can consider myself an alcoholic. I wouldn't say a former alcoholic, but because I don't really believe that probably doesn't exist. If someone's an alcoholic, they're always going to be an alcoholic. So, cut and dry, that's kind of how it is. It's a former alcoholic. I mean, yeah, you could say maybe the activities that they were doing would that an alcoholic would be like getting wasted, not doing anything, being a deadbeat. That's the attitudes of an alcoholic, but really in reality it's the mindset, the physical and mental craving of alcohol is what an actual alcoholic is. So I've struggled with alcohol ever since I started drinking it. And it's one of those things that it is an everyday struggle, and I can't see myself getting rid of the problem. The only way that you could probably get rid of the cravings would be actually probably just to start drinking again. And even then, you don't, because me myself, I was an alcoholic of years. Ever since I was 18, I stopped. Maybe about the first time I stopped like 5 years ago. I'm 30 right now. So like when I was 25, I lasted till maybe like 27, and I got off the wagon again. And it was one of those things. Yeah, it was. I've been through both extremes. I was sober most of my life until I turned 18. And 21 came around, and the next thing you know, it's like, oh wow, my whole life is alcohol. But and then I went sober again, and I was appreciative of sobriety because there is a certain peace that you can have. Like right now, I'm sober. I've been sober for almost 2 years again. But yeah, that's one of those things. It's sad to say that that one of the things that's always on my mind, is alcohol, without a doubt, and it's frustrating. A lot of people that aren't alcoholics, that they won't understand it, especially the type of people that can quote unquote handle it, the kind that because going to AA, it kind of helped actually to learn a little bit of the psychology of alcoholics and alcoholism, and there's at least when I went, there was two types of alcoholics. There was the alcoholic, or basically two types of drinkers. The drinker that can, whenever he's done, he's done. The drinker that can just drink a couple drinks, unwind, and he's fine. There's certain people out there that have that mindset and they're able to do that. They don't have that addictive personality. And then there's the drinker that can't just have one. It has to have more than one, and doesn't stop, until it's the end of the night or out of money or whatever. There's varying degrees. It's not just cut and dry like, oh, you're to this one, that one. It's a spectrum of alcoholism. But yeah, that's what I was. I was the second guy. I couldn't just have just one. I treated him like potato chips. Like, yeah, you can't just have one potato chip. You have to have more. And I was like, yeah, for the longest time it was that issue with me, but. Yeah, and it kind of created a cycle of inferiority, in the sense that I would see people drinking alcohol, quote unquote, handling themselves, being able to put it down after the first couple, and not having to worry about not having to worry about like drinking. It's like these are the same people that would talk to. They'd be like, oh yeah, I only drink once in a while, and it's one of those things. It's like they won't call themselves alcoholics. Most people won't call them alcoholics, but I do believe though, if you do have alcohol, maybe even if it is once a month, that is a varying degree of alcoholism. It's just not extreme in the sense that they're not drinking every day, but if you can drink alcohol and you choose to drink alcohol and you enjoy drinking alcohol, I believe it's like a meth addict. I mean, yeah, most people will say that the meth addict is obviously the one that can, it looks like a meth addict, acts like a meth addict, they'll say they aren't. That's fine, but how did they get there too? I bet you when they first started, when they were doing it once a month, they would probably think they weren't a meth addict either. So if they were doing it maybe once a month or even once a week, handling themselves, that's a big coping mechanism. That's what I also wanted to bring up too within the drinking and alcoholic community. A lot of it's a coping mechanism. It's like, oh, I'm not addicted, I can stop. It's like, sure, it's like you can say that, but is it really true? It's like you can say tell the same lie 1,000 times, but it never gets any more true. So it's like, it's like maybe the person that can have a beer every once in a while, maybe once a week or on special occasions, it's like they're technically alcoholics in a sense. It's, I don't know. That's just how I see it. You're not an alcoholic or you're not a drinker if you don't drink. That's the way I see it. If you're plain and sober, you haven't touched a drop ever since you were born, and that's the only people I can really say are non-alcoholics. There's people that they can handle their business. They go to work and everything, but in reality, it is a drug. It's one of the worst drugs for you. People think that just because it's socially acceptable it's okay, it's fine and dandy. It's it's legal. Just because it's legal doesn't mean it's good for you. Cigarettes are legal, but literally, like in other countries, this is the thing about America. We're so cucked here, but we don't really see. Like you go to other countries and they literally have dead babies on them. Just as a way to tell you, it's like, hey man, this is you don't want to smoke. This is pure death. That you don't want to smoke these death sticks. That's exactly what they are. But yeah, it's the drinking community is a community of people just repeating coping mechanisms. That's all it really is. And drinking itself is the epitome of what a coping mechanism is. Why not just stay in reality? Why not stay sober? Why not actually, just enjoy life for what it is? But, you have to make everything fun. That's a lot of people, a lot of people, they get like, I remember when we got out of high school, and we started hanging out at functions and with friends and stuff like that. And there was this one guy, he was younger than I was. I'd been out of high school for maybe about a couple years. And we were at a bonfire. And, we're all just hanging out. I don't think we were even drinking. None of us were drinking. I hadn't really started drinking at the time. But this guy was younger than me. And you can tell he was probably like a party dude. But, he was we were hanging out, just talking, just enjoying each other as friends. But then, he kind of blurts out, it's just like, man, this would be a lot better if we had some liquor and weed. And, the weed thing is one thing, I used to smoke. I used to enjoy a lot. It wasn't as bad as alcohol, though. Alcohol was the real killer there. But I was just thinking about it, dude, this dude is so young. This dude is younger than I am, and I was probably maybe 20, something like that. He was probably 18, 19, and he's already jaded. He was already over it. He was so jaded that he couldn't see having a good time. I don't know how he is now, but imagine being that young and thinking that the only thing that you can do to have fun is literally just drink. And that was kind of an eye opener. It also was another eye opener when he kind of got showed up because he was wondering. I was like, oh man, it'd be really great. This would be a lot better if we had liquor and weed. And then this country dude just comes out of nowhere and just asks hey, you guys want to do speed or Molly or something like that. It really throwing everybody off. So it was kind of a funny comparison. It's like people want to party, but it's like, how do you want to party? But I digress. But that's one of those things. Most frustrating thing that people can tell you, is when it's oh, I don't see how I don't see it. It's like when they think that being an alcoholic is a choice, but it's technically not a choice. So when the people that don't acknowledge their alcoholism. And I've known a couple of them, like they'll literally had DUIs. I've never had a DUI. I've been lucky in that sense. I've wrecked a car, but never had a DUI. But yeah, like they'll try to gaslight you, and try to psychologically manipulate you into saying it's like, oh bro, it's not that hard. It's just easy. You can always put it down. Just quit after one. But you do know that it's the psychology of an alcoholic, someone that actually has a problem. It's like you can't just like show them or give them a taste of something and then they're going to quit. No, it's like they've already wired their brain that way, and probably some of it was upbringing and maybe traumas. So it's like a lot of people that were like that already, they were gonna definitely latch on to alcohol, no problem. So it's all like, oh, this cope that like, oh dude, you just need to put it down. It's like, you don't get it, man. It's like a lot of us that are like that had that issue, we acknowledge it. We notice that we can either you're in or you're out, you're on the wagon or you're off the wagon. There is no in between. There is no this you can just have one once a week or just have one on special occasions. It's like my father used to do that, and he still does that to the extent he doesn't drink. He was actually my first like real role model. Then him and my mom, like, they don't drink at all. My dad, he's like one of these occasional guys, but he didn't have the same issues as I did. So this whole idea that and that's where it comes down to. If I try to be like one of those other drinkers, those other alcoholics that say that, oh yeah, I can just put it down whenever I want, I can just have one. Next thing you know, I'm falling off the wagon, and I'm going back into that spiral. And especially with me, man, you can joke all you want, but I was a big cider guy. Oh man, I had a sweet tooth. So anytime I had cider, it was a good time, man. I finished a sixer within like the hour because it was just so good. I love the taste of it. It gets you buzzed, and yeah, let's go. Especially mixing it with Fireball. Oh man, I'll tell you what. But yeah, it just gets to the point where it's like, yeah, at the time when I was drinking them, they had 6-packs for like $10. Now they're what, like 15, 16, and for what? Just to burn it in an hour? I can't do that. I mean, I still think about it. Maybe myself, I am coping. That's a coping mechanism, saying, it's like that alcohol is poison. But I mean, I really can't say it's a coping mechanism for me to tell myself that, because it's true. It's poison. I mean, you drink enough alcohol, and it'll come to a point where you have poisoned yourself, that you have to get your stomach pumped. If you have enough alcohol of a high percentage, it is called alcohol poisoning for a reason. So it is a poison in every sense of the word, and it's toxic. That's literally the reaction that your body is having. You getting buzzed and drunk is the reaction of your body trying to expel a toxin. So it's like, oh yeah, I feel so good, but it's like, yeah, it's like, it's like, not just because I can have arsenic on the rock doesn't mean I want it. It's like someone had it on the menu, I'd be like, you're stupid. But yeah, no, it's amazing that we've all socially accepted this as normal. Yet we have no problem demonizing marijuana. I mean, I'm straight edge myself. I mean, other than the occasional caffeine, I really I wonder what the straight edge crowd, the hardcore kids, think of caffeine. If they, it's funny enough too that the straight edge kids, I don't talk to any of them, but a lot of them do kind of like give off like, what's it called? They went the long way around to become a Christian good boy, but without the Christian and they said, instead of going to Jesus and being a good kid, not drinking, not smoking, not having sexual intercourse out of wedlock, they did like the long way around, and they got into it through hardcore, which is fine. I don't care. It's like if you got into like because of the straight edge scene, that's cool too. I honestly, I think that's great. It's just like I think it's funny how it's just like you have two extremes. You got like these the fundamentalist or the traditional Christians and Catholics, and then next to you got like a bunch of like freaking like young kids listening to hardcore, turning into vegan straight edge vegans. I mean, I guess that's technically what I am too. I'm vegan myself, but yeah, no, alcohol, it's a poison. I have children too, so I'm gonna see if I could actually keep them off of that, because I don't want them to have the issue that I have, where it's just like you just every day you just want alcohol, and yeah, it's a problem. And the worst thing about it is that society makes you think you're crazy. They gaslight you into thinking that alcohol is normal, and since it's normal, it's good for you. And it's like, but wait, it's like you're just talking because like you're talking like an addict. Alcohol is poison in every sense of the word, but society, because they are addicts, they're talking like addicts. They will tell you that you're the crazy one. It's like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't see myself doing that. And it's like, yeah, you never will because of that attitude. So it's like, I don't care. It's like you're the one that's probably going to get a DUI. You're the one that's probably going to have a relationship ruined because of it. You know, it's like whiskey dick is. It's like that doesn't sound fun. That doesn't sound good. It's like, well, how am I going to want to get drunk and then become impotent because of that? It's like it's all bad. It's like, and there's going to be so many people that pop off and say that, oh my God, it's like it's so great. You just have to do this. You just have to do that. But I'm just like, bro, maybe you don't know where you are in your life, in your journey right now. Like you might think that you have it all said and done and you have it all figured out, but reality, no. It's like you could actually be at the beginning where you're just like, yeah, you think alcohol's great because you have fun and this and that, parties and everything, but bro, you don't understand that it'll take a toll on your life. You'll turn fat. You know, I like when I first started like drinking a lot, I started getting like to this. You know, I got fat like that, and that's when I told myself no more. But you know, now I did it because on purpose. You know, the dirty bulk. But yeah, you just don't never say never, because yeah, you could get to the point where it's like, yeah, you do get your second DUI, and then you're wondering what went wrong, and it's like, yeah, your mind isn't the same once you start on alcohol. Same thing with porn, especially, you know, like once you start little by little, you get to the point where it's like, yeah, nothing's the same, and yeah, you know, so just don't do it. Alcohol is poison.